Are you good enough to be the world's strongest man or world's strongest woman? What the hell am I talking about, Auntie Liz?
Wow, God knows.
I'll tell you what I'm talking about. The official Strongman Games have announced their qualifying events, and this is the opportunity for anyone in the world that thinks they're good enough to prove it. Tell everyone how they do that.
So there is an online qualifier for the official Strongman Games, which is going to run through the whole of July. Well, you can talk about the events in a minute. But basically, the top 10, so if you have one of the top 10 performances in that qualifier, you get invited to the official Strongman Games, which is in Daytona Beach, mid-November. Now, for the lower weight classes and for the women, this is their world's strongest competition. So, for example, under 105 men, if you win this competition in that weight category, you are the world's strongest man under 105. That is your title. Same goes for the women, and the winner of the open weight women is the world's strongest woman. So it's a really big deal for both the women and the weight classes, but it's a big deal for the open weight men too, because the top 3 out of the open weight category will qualify for Giants Live competitions.
And why is it important to qualify for Giants Live competitions?
Because obviously it's the official qualifying tour for the world's strongest man. So if we take last year's podium, for example, and the months go by so quickly, but it happened in November last year. We were very lucky to be there. It was won by Pavlo Kordiaka, who since then was invited to Europe's Strongest Man, where he placed 4th. And he's just attended his first World's Strongest Man competition. And he's going to be doing the Glasgow Giants Live show later in the year. Spencer Remick, who came 2nd, is going to be doing the Strongman Classic in July. And then Tyler Cotton is also doing the Glasgow show later this year. So it is a genuine, anyone can do the online qualifier. Theoretically, anyone can qualify. If you get on that top 3, you're going to be in a Giants Live competition. We get people message us all the time. Why doesn't so-and-so get invited? If they did this, they would be invited. They
couldn't be ignored if they go and come top three in this competition. So if you are a heavyweight man and you want to be the next big thing, and you think no one is talking about you, no one's looking at you, you're not getting any opportunities, all you got to do is upload your lifts online and prove that you're good enough, and you will be invited to Daytona Beach in November for the official Strongman Games. And obviously, as Liz has said, we've got the women's classes, all the different weight classes. There's the Masters, there's the Masters over 40s, the Masters over 50s, there's the Women's Masters. This is a stacked competition. It's got all the best in the world from all these different weight classes. It's a huge weekend of strength. We enjoyed it last year.
It's great fun. It's 3 days of competition, and oh my goodness, the operation that Lynn Morehouse runs there, I have never seen anything like it. Like, kudos to Lynn, because it's bloody crazy, isn't it?
So we will get all excited about the official Strongman Games as we get closer to it.
Yes.
But I want to keep focused on the qualifier. Okay. So it's running from the 1st to the 31st of July.
Yeah.
Let me go through the events so everyone knows what they need to be training for and how you can go into how they can upload them and hopefully, for a lot of these guys and girls watching, qualify to compete in Daytona Beach. So I'm going to go through the events, but we will put a link in the description with all the rules and everything that you kind of really need to know if you want to know the fine details. But there are 3 events that you need to do for this online qualifier. The first event is the max overhead press. You can use a barbell, you can use a log, you can use an axle. All you've got to do is press the most weight that you can overhead.
And it doesn't have to be strict, does it?
It can be strict,
jerk.
It can be push press, it can be jerked, it can be literally any style you want. You can't do it from behind the neck.
No.
So it has to be in front of you. Can't do like the Flintstone lift that they did at World's Strongest Man, but they can do clean and jerks, they can strict press it, they can push press it. Any way you want to get this weight from floor to earth. I believe you can even snatch it. I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, if you're that good at doing it, go for it. But yeah, the first event is the max overhead. So you've got to lift as much weight as you can overhead. I believe as well that you can do this out of a rack. You don't even need to lift it from the floor. So it is literally going on the most weight that you can put overhead.
It'd be crazy not to do it out of a rack.
Absolutely. So event number 2 is an interesting one. It is the max either sandbag or Atlas stone to your shoulder. It's a little bit different than they did last year with some of the qualifying events. This is a challenging event, so I think there's going to be a lot of big sandbags lifted. It seems to be becoming a lot more popular event. Yeah. Or can you grind and get an Atlas stone up to your shoulders? Can we see some 160 plus stones being lifted to the shoulder? That will be mightily impressive. I look forward to seeing what people can do. Very challenging event, this one that they've put in for the guys, because...
And this is for everyone, isn't it? This is across all categories.
Yeah.
The masters, the women, the weight categories.
Yeah,
everyone does
we've
the
got
same thing.
under 63 kilo women.
Yeah.
And they'll lift some pretty heavy weights as well. So it is amazing to see what these athletes lift. I'm interested to see what the max weight ends up being on something like this. This is going to be a very interesting one. Very, very different event for an online qualifier.
Are they usually a hint for what's to come in the actual competition as well, the qualifying events?
I mean, not necessarily.
Okay,
I mean, they tend to always do an overhead and a deadlift.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And then they've mixed up the other event. Last year, I believe it was a farmer's walk.
Okay.
This year, they are going for...
And to be fair, they didn't have a farmer's walk in the
No, they didn't. There is normally some kind of overhead and some kind of deadlift. We had the deadlift ladder.
Yeah.
We had the log for reps on the overhead. Right. But I think the reason they do these kind of static events, they want to make sure people are physically strong enough.
Of course, yeah.
To compete at World's Strongest Man, the Giants Live shows, you need to be strong. Obviously, Strongman isn't just about that, and that's why you've then got to go and show that you can be an all-round strongman to actually try and come top 3 in the events. But this is testing, and the final qualifying event is a Deadlift 3 Rep Max.
That's an interesting, because you've got to be so calculated in the weight that you choose, haven't you? What would you choose?
Well, right now, God knows, something ridiculously light.
In your prime, as a 435 deadlifter.
Well, it's funny, because you get certain athletes that they'll do their first rep and it's hard, and then suddenly their second rep is easier.
Yeah.
So I think we'll see some big numbers with this. I really do. I think we're going to see excess of 400 kilos.
Do you think so? For 3 reps?
Look, the standard, you know as well as me now.
I do.
You know, if people are looking to really try and win these events, they're going to have to lift big numbers. And this year, we should point out, this year they're only taking the top 10 from the online qualifiers because there are a certain amount of athletes carried over from last year due to, especially like the Australian athletes where there was COVID issues and stuff like that.
A lot of people still couldn't travel to it.
They also have qualifiers going on all over the world this year, so there are more spots being taken up. But still, for people that message me all the time saying, how do I get to World's Strongest Man? How do I get invited to these big competitions? This is the opportunity. Official Strongman Games, you go to the website, you sign up. Once you've signed up, you upload your lift. So get training hard now. You've got the whole of July to make this happen. Loads of people leave it right till the last minute. One thing I will say is make sure you go and read all the rules.
Yeah.
Because there are people sometimes in the past that think they've done what they should and they didn't upload to the criteria that they've asked. So please make sure you go and read all the rules. Make sure you understand what you need to do. Then it's the 3 events. You upload your best lifts. If you are in the top 10 placings for each class, you will be invited to Daytona and have your opportunity to compete either for a world title, or if you are a heavyweight man, to get that opportunity to qualify for a Giants Live show. And as we've said many times, I mean, when you look at the list of people that have won, there's been 4 official Strongman Games so far. 2017, Trey Mitchell, Kevin Ferris, both World's Strongest Man finalists. Bobby Thompson competed in 2018, a World's Strongest Man finalist. Ben Brunning was on the podium in a Giants Live show. Luke Richardson, a finalist at World's Strongest Man, Europe's Strongest Man. And obviously this year, Pavlo Kordiaka, great performance at Worlds, 4th at Europe's Strongest Man. And also Spencer Rimmick and Tyler Cotton are both competing in Giants Live shows this year. This is the show that gets you to the big shows. So if you're an unknown, if you think people should be talking about you but they're not, get your numbers down, qualify for this event, and you can prove how good you are.
You forgot to mention the most important thing. We will be there.
Well, Naturally, that's kind of, goes without saying now.
With bells on. But we will, like you said, include the link in the description below so you can read through the rules. I don't want the responsibility of going through them all on here and getting them wrong and messing it up for everyone. So check out the link in the description below.
Overhead for max, stone or sandbag to shoulder, 3-rep deadlift for max. Get training for those events. Make sure you upload your numbers in July, and good luck to all of you.